The last Barrel of Laughs comedy show of this season is this Friday, and tonight we're chatting with the headliner, Joe Kilgallon. Hi, Joe. Thanks for being here tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So
Excited.
you've been in stand-up for 20 years. A lot of people think that they're funny, but like, what was it that made you realize you're like funny to the point where you're like, I should turn this into a career?
Well, pretty much every one of my teachers said, you're a real wise one.
Okay.
So I thought I must be a genius. But then why is everyone laughing at me when I talk?
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, comedy, that's where I need to go into.
Yeah, so how do you decide which jokes to tell? Because not every audience is the same. I know you guys prepare, but like, what's your thought process going into like, I should tell this joke, I should leave this one out?
Well, you kind of have to do a little bit of market research. You have to understand who's in the audience, because at the end of the day, I think every comedian, even if they say otherwise, they just want people to have a good time. I know I do. So if I see a group of people from the ages of like 30 to 50 and it looks like they might have a couple kids and some things like that, then I'll talk about my experiences with that. I just want people to, relate to me and have a good time. And at the end of the day, that's what we come out on a Friday night for.
Yeah, clearly people love your jokes because you've released 3 comedy albums. Tell us about these albums.
Yeah, so like the first one was way back in 2015, and that was kind of about how I just got married. I just got a dog, so my experiences with that. And right when you get married, everyone's like, you're gonna have kids. So dealing with that annoying question. Then the second one was, oh, I had a kid. Here's what that's like. And then these last 2, because there's 4 actually now, I believe. 3 albums audio, and then there's 4 on YouTube, has been more about like my experiences in my day-to-day life, whether it's dealing with, I started going to therapy, which I highly recommend for everybody. So, some people are still a little bit weird about therapy. And I tell people, I'm like, by the way, the weirdest people about therapy are the ones who need therapy the most.
I agree.
Yeah, I have a joke now where I talk about how I was in anger management, which is true. But I tell people, I'm like, I'm not an angry guy. I just have a bad temper.
Gotcha.
Like, angry people are walking around blaming the world for all their problems. People with a bad temper, we just want you to give us a thank you wave when we let you merge.
Yeah.
That's all.
Just
if you don't, we get very angry. Yeah, simple solution.
You also have 2 podcasts. Tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, so the one podcast is called Let's Get Dumb. And as you can imagine, we talk about a lot of dumb things. And it's really just kind of like trying to share the experience of, because everybody, even geniuses, will do a dumb thing here or there. And that's okay. Let's learn to laugh about those things instead of denying it. Because so many people nowadays, they deny the dumb thing they just did, where it's like, no, take ownership. Admit you were a little dumb and we could all laugh about it and move on. So that's basically what that one's about. We'll ask dumb questions. We make dumb lists, but we keep it silly.
Yeah.
And then my other one is just me ranting for 30 minutes about everything that's going on in my life. And I try to make it funny. And I do kind of have this weird like stream of consciousness where I figure out things. Like my one friend asked me, how come you go by Joe and not Joey? Did you ever go by Joey? And I was like, when I was a little kid, I went by Joey. But then I had a crush on my friend's mom. And I'm like, she's not looking for a Joey. She's looking for a Joe.
Yeah.
It had change. At the age of 8, I had to become the man she wanted because I was really into my friend's mom at the time. So that's how I became Joe.
Oh my. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it, Rockford.
Yes. You can see Joe perform this Friday at Prairie Street. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. And afterwards, you can grab a drinks inside the Dockside Taproom. State Line Soundcheck is next with Roland Dubs. They're warming up in our Mahoney and Mahoney Blue Room. We'll be right back.